Welcome back to the Loop Live cozy living room that we've made up here at the Mammoth Film Festival. I'm your host, Brett Davern. Joining me, my co-host, Brittany Ray, and then our guest, the intrepid, the amazing, the illustrious, the creative and talented Alexandra Chando.
Thank you.
I mean, 6 years at this festival for me now. I think, well, 6 or 7 for you at least.
Well, it would be 7,
and
but
just here we are again. Ready to talk about everything you've been up to, which the biggest thing is you just finished directing your first feature.
I did just finish directing my first feature.
What an undertaking.
Yes, it was an undertaking.
Adventures along the way? Come on,
many.
tell us some stories.
We started, first of all, it's called And on the Eighth Day. Written and produced by Suzanne Weinert, who is also a Mammoth Film Festival alumni.
Cool.
And we shot it in New Mexico in April and May of last year, and went through the whole post process, and we finally finished it.
Wow.
So it wasn't ready for us here, but it is now, I think, close to done. Cool. But it stars Phoebe Tonkin and Darren Mann and Mustafa Speaks, and it's
wow.
I'm so
What's
proud
it about?
of it.
Tell us the story. What's it about? Tease it for us.
It's a female heist set in the 90s in West Texas.
Oh,
it's totally up your alley.
I already love it.
It's totally up your alley.
I already love it. That sounds so awesome.
That does sound awesome. Yeah. I mean, female is a big theme.
Yeah.
With you, with Mammoth, her voice conversation upstairs and everything. I mean, it's so cool, everything that you do to not only like empower other female filmmakers, but just everything you do here at Mammoth is really cool and inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's awesome. I mean, it's obviously a big focus for you.
It is. Well, I mean, I live it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really important. I know that I am still trying to kick down doors. And so anything that I can do to kind of have that like solidarity and build community, I think that's one of the biggest things. We talked about that today at the panel is the importance of community and building each other up and supporting each other, men and women. And I think that is something that I pride myself on doing her voice. But yeah, I mean, look, it's tough for everybody right now. It's really, really hard. The industry has changed dramatically and drastically, and we're all trying to kind of get back into it after the strikes and after COVID. And so I think just anything I can do to help younger or emerging female filmmakers, I want to do it.
It's really cool, though, everything that you're doing. I mean, not just from in front of the camera, but then behind the camera. You've directed before. This is the feature directorial debut, but you've directed before, and it's just cool to see your next steps and everything that you're up to.
Yeah,
and
so
the new stuff.
I'm so stoked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll just sit here, pat you on the back the whole time.
Yeah, we're just like big Alex Chando fans.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I mean, I want to ask, I mean, I know, like, so getting the film distribution or getting it out there is probably one of your big focuses, obviously probably the biggest focus right now. But what else is up next for Alexandra Chando?
You know, I don't know. A nap. No, I mean, I'm always trying to, just like with everybody, just always trying to have many irons in the fire. I feel like we all kind of have to. It's like you just throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And I'm developing an unscripted show with a friend, and we'll take that out soon. And just always trying to create. I'm looking for another feature to direct. Just trying to get my ducks in a row. You know, when you direct a feature, it just takes all of your everything for a year and a half or oftentimes longer.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to kind of figure out what is next, and kind of feel where I want to go. And I think where the movie lands will dictate that as well. I think that will be really helpful. But I thought I was like, oh gosh, we're done with the movie. I can breathe. And then it's like now this journey of trying to get distribution and just all of the pressure of that and trying to find a home for it is is the next step of stress.
But I think this is why you guys put on such a cool festival, though, too, because you're one of the founding members of this festival. And a lot of the people we've sat down with all week just talk about how the people who run this festival are not just running a film festival. You're also out there making your own stuff, producing, directing, acting in, finding financing for, finding distribution for. So you know what all these filmmakers at this festival are going through, and it gives you that perspective, which is really cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it makes Mammoth unique.
Alex, obviously it takes so long to get to where you are right now, and this step of finding distribution, is there anything like what does that even look like? Because I have no idea what it looks like to even go about finding distribution for something you made.
I mean, this is my first time and rodeo on this journey, so I actually can't quite answer that. I have a team of people that are going to be hopefully really helpful in doing that, I think. But one of the things that I think is great, as Brett was saying, you know, this festival, we pride ourselves on accessibility, and so we had the distribution panel, and you can, I think Pascal's like right out there, like you can literally walk up to him or one of the guys on that panel and say, hey, like, can I send you my movie? Like, just have those conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of, we're still growing as a festival. We have bigger movies and we're expanding, but I also think there is the beauty in it still feeling like a small festival where you have access to people.
For sure.
Yeah, it has this like core little group, little family, little whatever you want to call it, unit, but it brings people on every year who then attach themselves to that, and it just keeps growing. It's really, really cool. Something I've been asking a lot of people this week, and I think you'd be a great one to ask this, is just advice for aspiring filmmakers out there, whether they're female or not or whatever, and whether they've made something or they're just getting started, like just advice that you could give. I'm sure a lot of people would find that helpful.
I think that I have so many things to say.
We got all day.
How much time do we have? No, because there's like, it's twofold, right? It's like there's the advice that's kind of more technical and kind of practical of like, you know, go write or go make something or just, you know, start somewhere. Again, like the relationships, the community aspect of it all, especially in a film festival situation where you are able to walk up to somebody and say, hey, I loved your short. I love the way it was written. Like, do you want to collaborate on something? So I feel like there's that side of things, like just keep making things and keep doing things. And then there's also the other side where like, you know, hanging in there, and it's a really, really tough business we've all chosen to be in. Yeah. And, you know, just kind of having that stamina and the finding ways to kind of find stability and structure in your life in other ways. Because I find for me, it's that catch-22, right? Like, if you have pressure to create and you're putting pressure on yourself to create, you're not going to be able to create. But unfortunately, like oftentimes we have to be in that grind and like try and make money and try and survive and try, you know, it feels, especially lately, it feels a lot like survival.
Yeah.
And that's really, really hard on a creative, on an artist.
And you have to be doing 18.
You have to have 20,000 things happening.
And also finding distribution.
Paying your bills.
Yeah, and paying your bills and like paying your
Right.
rent. And it's really hard. And, you know, that's something that I still struggle with, where it's like, okay, how do we keep going?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and keep making the stories that like you want to make, right? Because people can come to you and ask you to direct something, but maybe it's not necessarily what you're into, and you know, the types of stories that you want to tell.
Right.
Like, what are the types of stories that you want to tell going forward?
Well,
or what are the stories that draw you in, I guess, the most?
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of piggyback on that before I answer that, I think in that vein, it's important to know what your values are. And as a creative, and like what you will say yes to and say no to, and kind of have that like compass. For me, being an actor, I'm always drawn to kind of character-driven stories. People are always like, well, what genre do you want to do? And I'm all over the place. Like every short that I've done or this feature, they're all different genres and styles, but they're all kind of character-driven pieces. Like I said, as an actor, that's something I love. One of my favorite things about directing the movie was sitting with every actor and just breaking down character.
Yeah.
And
scene study.
Yeah, scene
Like
study.
real
And like really
acting
kind of
nerd
getting to
stuff.
like the nitty gritty
Yeah.
of the character. And so for me, that's what I look for.
Yeah.
And obviously stories that make an impact and that are moving me. But again, like similarly, the way I look at things as an actor, like I don't have the blinders on of like, this is what I want to do. It's just if something comes my way and it moves me and it's something that challenges me and scares me, then let's go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Alex,
That's cool.
did you also write the feature?
I didn't, no.
So you're looking for a new feature okay, cool. Yeah. So you're directing, producing. Are you acting in it too?
No.
That was my next question. My next question is, when do you direct yourself?
I don't know.
Are you going to do
I
that?
don't know. I think
do you
it
ever
has
think
to be
about
something.
that?
Here's the thing. If
Yeah.
I direct myself, it's got to be like a Bradley Cooper situation where I've had 6 years
Yeah.
to really like dive into it.
Right.
Because I just don't know if I'm in a place where I can switch my brain on and off. Like even I had a little cameo in my movie. I played a bartender and I had no lines. But I was a bartender because we didn't have a local. It was like one of those things where I was like, I'll just jump in and do it. But that day or that scene, it was really hard for me. I like couldn't function. I was like looking at my DP and I was like, I don't know, you have to direct this scene. I don't know what's going on because my brain was just like not prepared. Yeah, well, you've done it.
I've done it with my shorts, and I'm like, I'm absolutely not doing it for a feature, for sure. But you have to have producers who you trust so much that are looking at the monitor, and you have to be able to look at them and be like, like,
did we get it?
Yeah,
Is it okay? Yeah.
But like, you want to be able to come to set in like pajamas and like eat snacks and look at the monitor, right? Or like you at least be focused.
Well, it's a whole different thing. I mean, as an actor, you can really, if you're just being hired as an actor and coming on to someone else's project, you can really sort of just worry about your own thing or your scenes or your scene partner.
There's enough work for the actors.
Yeah, you go in, you clock in, you clock out.
Yeah.
You do your research and everything you're supposed to do. But when you're directing, I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're not just thinking about your own thing. You've got everything.
Yeah, the whole scope of it. And I think the hardest part, and this is where I think I would have a hard time, is less about like the preparation as an actor, but more about as a director, you are asking and making decisions. You're being asked questions and having to make decisions all day long.
Yeah.
And there's this like a little bit of like a bombardment of questions. And so I can't imagine if I was like about to do an emotional scene.
Right.
I'm assuming there's like structure in place or like a system
Do you like
in
this
place.
Kleenex?
Yeah,
Is this
right?
good?
Like,
Was this a good choice?
Is this a good, do
Can
you
we
want the
put
red
this
or the
here?
blue?
Right,
And you're like,
yeah.
I don't know, I'm just trying to cry.
Right. I mean, it's got to feel pretty cool for you. And I mean, I don't want to embarrass you or anything, but like just to be sort of leading this like next wave of filmmakers. I really feel like Mammoth Film Festival leads and is a leader in finding these next filmmakers and sort of the next generation. And you being a filmmaker yourself, you are sort of leading that next generation. And I don't really even have a question. Just congratulations. I think that's awesome.
Well, that's very generous, and I appreciate that. And that's yeah. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the compliment.
Yeah. Well, I think you and Mammoth are doing that. I mean, with the panels, with the discussions, with everything that you guys are doing around here, like it's a lot of young filmmakers, a lot of first-time filmmakers, and they're going somewhere and they're going to big places. So it's really cool.
And not just the female. I mean, I'm been here twice as a director, and you are like the face of like you like are like the mama bear for the female filmmakers. You really are.
I appreciate that.
And it's like, you're the queen.
You're an inspiration.
You're the inspiration.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Doing big things. Awesome. So, cool. We could talk forever, but I think we are out of time. The Loop this year is powered by our friends at Seen It, the world's favorite movie trivia board game. You have your Mammoth commemorative game piece right there, exclusive to the Mammoth Film Festival this year. And then, of course, Rack the Planet, RAK, which stands for Random Acts of Kindness. And I'm out of the little briefcases they gave me. They gave me so many
I'm
of them.
so glad that
I've
other
passed out
people
all of
are
them.
taking them.
Yeah.
There's kindness out there now.
There really
Yes.
is. Yeah. A lot more kindness out in the world and especially around Mammoth.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you both too.
Sure.
You are both wonderful filmmakers, and I appreciate you both being here and kind of interviewing. We have great interviews because of y'all.
oh, well, thanks.
So thank you.
Yeah.
It's Brett.
I'll take it.
Look, we're all just taking the compliments. Just take the compliments.
For Mammoth FF and for Brittany, I'm Brett, keeping you in the loop. Thanks for watching.